Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel, and if you haven't been here before, hi, I'm Bella, great to have you here. If you're not already following my Instagram, you should probably follow it. I will put it right on the screen for you, and if you are interested, and only if you are interested, make sure to follow my OnlyFans. It'll be in the link tree down below, along with a link to my Instagram to make it even easier for you. And always a good time over there on Instagram and OnlyFans, of course. But let's just get into today's video. So today's video is going to be a concept that I've talked about a few times. I've talked about it more in regards to dating, when to tell them you're trans, how to tell them you're trans, etc. And I have videos like that on my channel, and I've had story times where I've handled it both ways and how those situations resulted and what really came of those. So today's video is going to be, does he need to tell his friends and family that you're trans? Like, is that necessary? Do I personally feel like that's appropriate in my opinions and my experiences? I don't think that it's necessary. So I kind of want to break down the situation. Let's say you've been together for a bit, you've gone on a couple dates, whatever, you've been together for even longer than that, and it's coming to an opportunity where you're going to meet friends, acquaintances, work-related people, or family members, right? Because that's just kind of like the natural progression of dating. That's just kind of like what happened. And so you and him have already had all those conversations about you being trans or whatever the situation is or whatever you have going on, right? Now, is it necessary for other people in his life to know that? So I think it is a situation by situation basis. I think it really does depend, but personally, I don't think that that's necessary. And the way that I've handled those situations in real life, in dating life, in day-to-day life, is not mentioning it. And the reason I say that is because it's really nobody's business unless they are your partner. You know what I mean? What does you being trans have an effect of meeting friends and family? There isn't. There is no effect. It doesn't alter their opinions on you. It doesn't alter, you know, if you're a good person or a bad person. It doesn't alter your personality or your sense of humor or anything. That could be attributes that people would really like you for. So I think that ultimately, especially depending on the group of people, depending on the dynamic of the friends, depending on the culture and way that they live their life, I think will also depend on if it's something that is easier to share or something that is more understood and open-minded to share, or if it's something that super isn't necessary. And I think it also depends on the comfortability level of the trans person and the comfortability level of their partner, and that's a conversation to be had. Personally, I've always lived by, I'm not going to advertise it, but I'm also not going to hide it, which seems kind of silly because I post on YouTube and I have all these videos talking about these topics and talking about being trans and etc. So it does kind of seem like I advertise it to a certain extent, but also it's not to the point where I'm introducing myself to people and they're asking me about my story or like life or like where I'm from or whatever it is, and I throw in that I'm trans. Like, that's just not something that I feel necessary to mention because I'm so much more than that personally. And I know a lot of people are super prideful of that and super, you know, like they don't care to share that and to be represented by that and to go with that. Personally, that isn't the way that I like to handle my situations, but it also is different person to person, and that is totally okay. I think if it's a situation where it's super close friends and that person wants to open up and share that information, it's something that needs to be discussed on both parties, the trans person and their partner. And if, you know, who's comfortable with what isn't comfortable, what they think is the best way to handle it, what they don't think the best way to handle it. And ultimately in these situations, communication is super, super necessary. It has to happen. Like, there has to be communication in order for it to be successful and to know how to handle these situations going further. I think ultimately there is no one right answer for this, and I've been in situations where it's been handled both ways, but either way that it's been handled, it's been communicated and it's been a mutual decision based on comfortability levels and based on the way in which, you know, you want those new dynamics to be handled and how you want things to go. And I think that that's totally normal. I think that it's a conversation that a lot of people have in relationships with trans people. But ultimately, my answer to this question is no. It does not need to be shared with friends and family. It doesn't have to be shared. If it comes out later and it is opened up, then great, and that's amazing, and they already have an understanding of you as a person, and they already, you know, have their perceptions of you put in there, and then if that does come out, then it comes out, and not that it's a secret, because own it, that's who you are, that's who I am, that's who we are. So, I mean, there's nothing to be shameful of, but I think sometimes it makes those dynamics a little bit easier, and it also makes it a little bit more refreshing for people to genuinely kind of get to know you for you. When you go into a social setting at a bar or work or like meeting your friends' friends, you don't walk into a room and say, hi, I'm Bella and I'm trans, nice to meet you. So why should it be handled differently in a more romantic setting with a romantic partner is more what I mean by that, and their family and their friends, etc. But I think that a lot of you viewers that watch me will have a similar opinion to me. I think that it's a relatively kind of across the board response to that. Maybe some trans women would feel more comfortable having the acquaintances that they're meeting and family that they're meeting to know that. Maybe that would help them with feeling more comfortable. For me personally, that isn't necessarily something that I'm interested in, but to each their own. I would love to hear down in the comments below, like, what are your thoughts? What are your opinions? And is that something that is important to you as a trans woman? Is that something that you have done, as I know a lot of men that have dated trans women watch my channel? Is that something that you did with your past partners or current partner? Was this a conversation that you guys had? Was this a hurdle in your relationship, or was it handled relatively easily? I'm super curious. I think just communication is super important. And honestly, I just don't think it's necessary for everyone under the sun to know your personal business, especially if they're not going to be involved on the romantic side of your relationship. You know what I mean? Why does it matter what you have in your pants or what you came from or what you've gone through? You know? If you choose to share that, you choose to share that. If not, then not. But I hope you guys liked this video. It was a little bit of a short one, just kind of a rambling topic. I don't know, I have a bunch of lists of things on my phone, and this was just one of them on the list. So I love you guys so much. Thank you guys always so much for supporting me. Subscribe, comment down below your thoughts, opinions, and experiences. I would love to see them. Give this video a thumbs up, follow my Instagram, subscribe to my OnlyFans, and I will see you guys next time. Bye guys.